this little thing with Wembanyama and the international players, and I want to apologize to my audience for that brief moment that I fell in love with Wembanyama. It's a foreigner.
This is true, but what relevance does this have? Jason Whitlock.
Sat there, stood there.
He didn't
with
sit.
His arms crossed.
Did he violate the NBA policy? Did he violate the law? Did he break the U.S. law? Did he violate any NBA policy? Answer this, Jason Whitlock. Jason Twitlock. Twit meaning a fool or a foolish person. Jason Twitlock.
I fell in love with Wembanyama. It's a foreigner.
Is he an illegal citizen? Is he illegally in the NBA? Answer these questions.
With his arms crossed.
Sincerely, honestly. You bad faith, B-I-T-C-H.
Stood for the national anthem. Let's play the clip. International players, and I want to apologize to my audience for that brief moment that
he's allowed to work for the NBA. He was, bro.
This man sat there, stood there with his arms crossed while the San Antonio Spurs.
He didn't enter this country illegally. He's no criminal.
Let's play
so,
the clip.
To make it seem like he's violative is manipulative. It is all the way garbage.
International players, and I want to apologize to my audience for that brief moment that I fell in love with women.
There's no law that the U.S. law, it doesn't require NBA players to refrain from crossing their arms during the national anthem before games.
While the San Antonio Spurs and everybody stood for the national anthem, let's play the clip.
This happened before Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Spurs versus Knicks. San Antonio Spurs versus New York Knicks. This happened before Game 1.
San Antonio Spurs and everybody stood for the national anthem.
Everybody stood. Wemby stood. He just didn't conform on the level you wanted him to conform on. Keep it all the way a buck. Keep it all the way a beam. He conformed. He was in accordance with the law, with the policy. You just didn't. You just hated that he didn't conform on the level you thought was. He just didn't conform on the level you thought was sufficient. He just didn't conform on the level you thought was sufficient. You and certain other MAGA people, MAGA puppets, MAGA cultists, MAGA partialists, radicalists, goofies, clowns, wokies. This is wokeness. This is weakness. This is fragility. This is emotion. This is rubbish. This is rubbishness.
There's only one guarantee. It's gonna break down. They had a sensor light up.
It is sickening, bro. These people profess to be against wokeness. Certain MAGA people, not all. There are reasonable MAGA people. I am one of those reasonable. I am one of those people.
Seat sensor, $1,400.
But if you've got endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a car repair again. No matter how much it cost them to cover it.
You do have reasonable MAGA people, bro. You do have reasonable people in the MAGA community who have balance, who are willing to be impartial, who keep it a buck, who are consistent, who have integrity, who don't engage in fake fugazi-ish, who are not epitomes of hypocrisy.
$800 to repair a bad wheel bearing. Oh.
Skip this ad. Shoe gang bars. Everybody standing.
He stood there with his arms crossed.
They say you have to stand in a dignified position. You can have your arms behind your back. You can have your hands over your chest. But you are not required to there's no requirement that you have to, there's no requirement that you have to refrain from crossing your arms. If you wish to cross your arms, you can do this. As long as you are not causing a scene, kneeling, sitting, yelling.
Victor
Wemby wasn't
Wembanyama.
doing any of these
I
things.
don't curse, or I
So
certainly don't
what
like
is
to
the
curse
issue?
at
What
all.
is the problem, bro?
San Antonio Spurs and everybody stood for the national anthem. Let's play the clip.
Whitlock will tell his audience he's patriotic, he's pro-America, he's MAGA. No, bro, he's fake. He's fool. He's foo-foo. He's faux. Yeah, he's a full proponent of America. He's a full proponent of patriotism.
Miss me with all of it.
Certain people have their heads down. Certain people.
And stood there with his arms crossed while the San Antonio Spurs.
It is crazy that certain people made a big deal out of this, bro. There's bigger things to be upset, to be filming about, bro. There's way worse things to be disgusted by. Yo, this isn't it, yo. This is not it. Yo, Whitlock, you have to chill. This is craziness, bro.
San Antonio Spurs and everybody stood for the national anthem. Let's play.
When he stood, he just didn't conform on the level you thought was sufficient. Keep it a buck. Yeah, Vassell, he has his eyes closed. Kelly Olynyk, he has his arms behind his back. Mason Plumlee, he has his hands on his chest.
Let's play the
They're all conforming. They're doing different things, but they're all conforming to the NBA policy, to the U.S. law. They're all standing. What is the issue? Certain MAGA people, they assume he is saying F America. There's a symbolic message of
Victor Wembanyama.
He's symbolically saying F America. He hates America. They're saying baseless, groundless remarks. They have no evidence to prove he is being malicious or has malicious intent behind what he is doing, or
being celebrated here in America, being turned.
There's no evidence to prove that. There's hatred behind the symbolism. In the symbolism behind what he is doing, there's no evidence to prove that. There's hatred, there's odium, there's evil in the symbolism. They're just fragile, they're just emotional, they're just angry because they are just goofy, bro. There's one puppet dude, he's Caucasian. He said the one Caucasian dude has his hands on his chest as if he's the only one who's conforming to policy and to U.S. law, bro. Yo, it is crazy, bro. The idolatry, the worship of it is nuts, bro. It is nuts. The idolatry of certain people in the MAGA community, in the Trumper community, in the America First community. Yeah, it is, bro. It is all the way insane, bro. All the way insane. Yeah. So you can only be pro-America if you have your hands on your chest, but if you are standing, but do a different thing, you have your eyes closed, you cross your arms. Bro, it is, yeah. Somehow crossing your arms is terrible, is the worst thing. Yeah, but he's not causing a scene, he's not yelling, he's not disturbing, he's not bothering people, harassing people. So what is the problem? There's no problem here. Certain people want it to be a problem because these people are really doing this goofy-ish to Wemby because they disagree with him pertaining to ICE, bro. He said certain things pertaining to ICE that a lot of MAGA people disagree with. I disagree with the things Wemby said pertaining to ICE, but I don't think he's hateful of America or loves America or is malicious when he does the crossing of his arms. Yeah, You don't know the reason why he's crossing his arms. You are just assuming stuff with no evidence. There's no basis in reality. It is possible, not saying it isn't possible, that he loathes America, but to assume this with no evidence is crazy. It makes you look goofy, ignorant, and trash all the way. It is what it is. Yeah, you can disagree with Wemby politically, you can dislike Wemby, but to say he doesn't belong or he should be held accountable by the commissioner, Adam Silver, for crossing his arms, which is not in violation of the law or NBA policy. If you call for the holding of him accountable for no good reason, you are sucky, bro. You are pro-tyranny. You are pro-despotism. You are not pro-freedom. You are not pro-America. You are antithetical to MAGA. You profess to be MAGA, but you really are not MAGA, bro. You are fraudulent. You are deceitful, manipulative, dishonest. You have no scruples, no morals, no integrity. Yeah. This is the reality, bro. The Jason Twitterlocks, this other person who discusses sports, who has the hat on, forgot his name. He discusses political stuff. He's a puppet. He's a MAGA puppet. Like, yeah, it is pathetic. It is all the way trash, all the way detrimental to the growth of the movement of the America First movement, of the MAGA movement, of the Republican Party. It is detrimental, bro, all the way. It is all the way detrimental and deleterious to the growth of the party, of America as a whole, really. Yeah. Yeah, this is nowhere near the level of importance that certain other things are of, bro. This doesn't even matter. Him crossing his arms, this isn't even a story. This is a non-story. But certain people want to make this stuff a story because they're so brainwashed, they're so goofy, they're so they're so disgraceful, bro. Yeah, Yo. It is really sad, bro. The bias that these goofy people have to the MAGA sides, the bias they have is crazy. They're targeting Wemby because he disagrees with ICE, but you do have players who have who haven't conformed all the way completely, but conformed to the U.S. law and to the NBA policy. You do have players who have not conformed completely, but have conformed to the law and to the NBA policy. But these people, the Twitterlocks, they have no energy for them. Jonathan Isaac, who's a conservative, he played for the Magic. He stood during the bubble, during the pandemic. He was standing. He had his arms behind his back, if my memory is correct. Everybody, a lot of other players, they were kneeling. Isaac, he deviated. He stood. He didn't go against what was required. He stood. He didn't sit down or yell. He did what he was supposed to do, but he didn't conform all the way completely. They don't have the same energy for Isaac. It is crazy. They don't have the same energy because he's a conservative. He's a Christian conservative. Jason is a Christian conservative. So it is okay. But it isn't okay for Wemby because they disagree politically. Wemby is a dissident politically. He is a political dissident. He opposes ICE, so it is okay to tyrannize him or disparage him or deprecate or derogate him or say lies or slander or calumniate or tarnish his reputation. This is fake. This is fake pro-America stuff, bro. This is tyranny. It is what it is.
Miss me with all of it. Victor Wembanyama, I don't curse, or I certainly don't like to curse, and I almost did. I almost used that F word with a U behind it. This man standing here on the biggest stage.
If you are going to criticize people who don't conform completely, be consistent, have integrity. But these certain people, they don't have integrity. They're goofy. It is sad, but it is the truth. It is the reality, the incontrovertible reality.
Victor Wembanyama,
it is the indubitable truth.
Curse,
it is what it is.
To curse, and I almost did. I almost used that F word with a U behind it. This man standing here on the biggest stage in the NBA, making all that money, being celebrated here in America, being turned into a global superstar by America's basketball league. And you're standing there with the national.
This gives hater vibes, haterade. He's a hater. Jason is.
With their heads
this is bad for your health.
like
the haterade, the unnecessary hates, the unhealthy hate.
America the respect that it's owed.
The manipulation.
You can't show some.
What is he doing that is ingratitude or disrespect of the flag or of America? What is he doing that warrants this label, these labels, these criticisms? This is nonsense. What Whitlock is saying, he's emotional. His emotions are dictating, enslaving him, bro.
You wouldn't do this.
He's goofy. Whitlock is goofy. Wemby is not in France, dummy. He's in America. And there's no requirement. There's no requirement in America to refrain from crossing your arms as an NBA player.
You wouldn't do this over in France.
Foreign people,
but here in America,
foreign-born players, American-born players, they don't have to refrain from crossing their arms, bro.
Foreigner, you wouldn't do this over in France.
He's not in France.
But here in America,
this is irrelevant. This is irrelevant.
And this national anthem with your other teammates with their
and
heads
if people
down,
perceive Wemby to be
like
great, if people perceive him to be laudable, it is what it is. You can't control other people's opinions, their perceptions, their opinions, their views, their stances. You sound tyrannical, dictatorial, despotic. You suck.
But here in America, let me cross my arms.
He can't do this.
And this national anthem means nothing.
He has no obligation to conform completely to. He's from France, bro.
Foreigner.
He was born in France. He doesn't have the same obligation, bro.
But here in America, let me
or require. He's not. The requirement is not.
And I got Jalen Brunson on the other team. Him and his dad working together with the.
There's no penalty if he crosses his arms, bro. There's no punishment. Adam Silver is not going to punish this dude. Yo, Whitlock, you are smoking. You are on drugs if you believe Wemby is violating policy or the law.
That can't let the 3-point line. I'm ripping teamwork, culture of sacrifice. His dad working together with foreigner. You wouldn't do this over in France.
He's not in France.
But here
what relevance does this have?
Let me cross my arms.
This guy, he's deflecting, he's diverting, it is goofy. This is foolish. This is fatuous. This is fatuous. What Whitlock is saying. What Whitlock is saying is fatuous. F this dude. F you, bro. Yeah. He makes no sense when he says the things he says pertaining to this situation, bro. Anybody who thinks Whitlock is cooking is either a dupe or a disgrace. It is one of the two. Anybody who believes what Jason Whitlock is saying is based or logical is either a dupe or adult or a disgrace or a blight, one of the two.